It's not going to make it sound a whole lot better until you make it through the end of the video, so please just make it through the end of the video. Hello, everyone, especially my 47 subscribers. So today is another 2020, which is a series that's kind of been here and there on the channel. If you couldn't tell from the title, today's video is a little bit more somber and deals with the most popular subject in all of my 2020 videos, my relationship. So unless editor Patrick changed what the title of this video is from what I'm planning on it being, this video is called Grieving a Relationship When You're Still in It, which sounds a little less fun than melancholy. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and rip the band-aid off. DJ and I broke up. And yeah, breakups are not fun. And it kind of is what it is. Yeah, obviously I'm still here. I will be moving out soon into a new place. Trying to work out all the logistics of that, but New Mexico just shut down again, they literally just opened back up a couple days ago, and that made things difficult financially, so for a while I'm still gonna be here, but we're really trying to keep opposite schedules and be civil and cordial with one another. So the reason that I'm making this video is to try and help give clarity to people in DJ's perspective on our breakup, and to hopefully help people that are in my situation understand either their own feelings better or find a way to say how they're feeling or what's going on in a more satisfying manner for their partner. I say more satisfying because there's nothing satisfying about being in a breakup. So obviously the title is Grieving While You're Already in a Relationship. And that's something that I realized I was doing during my relationship with DJ, primarily in these last few months. I noticed that I did a lot of the behaviors over time, but it was really hard-hitting probably between like September, October, maybe even a little bit of August. What happened was that obviously we had a video come out on Halloween. That was our Todd and Copper Halloween special, whatever. It was very good. We had a great Halloween. It was very low-key. It was very nice. And then literally the next day we were right back to fighting and just not enjoying each other. It's very hard when you're in a relationship to not feel good with your partner. So I pretty much had decided then and there that I was just done. I was over all the fighting, I was over all the whatever stuff that was going on between us. I had to fix the camera. Yeah. And I'm not going to get into everything that went wrong in my relationship. That's not the point of me making this video. While these 2020s are very cathartic for me, the purpose of it is not to trash anybody. But yeah, there were very heavy issues in my relationship that were not working for either of us. The solutions were going to be one person acting on behalf of the other, and it just wasn't going to work that way. But, you know, for a couple weeks after November 1st, DJ still was kind of trying to find a way to make it work for us to be together, and I just told him no. I want to mind you, it was after a couple weeks, not that makes it a whole lot. It's not going to make it sound a whole lot better until you make it through the end of the video, so please just make it through the end of the video, and then hopefully it helps people. Helps people understand why this happens. After a couple weeks, I told him that I wasn't interested in making it work with him anymore. And part of that was due to the fact that I was interested in someone else. And that hits a lot of people wrong. You know, I literally just said it was a couple weeks, which people have this time illusion of how long it should take you to get over a relationship. And I seriously went over this in my head a lot about, am I doing a rebound? Am I subscribing to any of these weird timelines of things? Am I going to risk hurting this other person by showing interest in them too soon and, having them doubt my feelings or anything like that? Believe me, I really did think about this, and that's how I came to these conclusions that I did and why I'm making this video. So DJ is having a difficult time understanding how I was able to get over it so quickly, and any of his friends that he's talking about it with are, of course, doing the supportive-ish thing of saying that, like, I never really loved him, oh, it must not have been real, or I must have been cheating, and that's not the case. What did happen was that I grieved my relationship ending while it was still going on. I knew that my relationship was over months ago. I went through the phases of grief while it was happening. People are going to be like, you can't really grieve something until it's gone. But that's not true. In fact, it's really common for people to pre-grieve the death of loved ones if they know that they're sick. In this instance, grieve a dying relationship. And I tried to come up with a way to elegantly put what my grieving looked like, and I did end up going to a couple other channels, listening to like TED Talks and stuff, and I did find one channel that was really helpful in putting down exactly what these steps were of grief, and their link is below, and I'm going to put their card up there. This woman who's a breakup coach talked about the stages of grief, and I went through them and I was like, these are the things that I want to talk about in this video that I did, and I did them while my relationship was still going on, even though a lot of people do them after the relationship's over. I'm going to go through those and sort of explain what I did and what that looked like for me, because DJ also is having a difficult time because he hasn't really seen me be upset by our breakup. And that's because I was upset about our breakup for months, and I expressed it to him as well as to a lot of other people, and it came out differently because the relationship was still like creeping its way along. So the first step of this grief process that this woman talked about was answer seeking, and I did that hard. I've done that in this series. I've done that in my coaching. I actually sat DJ down the other day and had him listen to a recording that I had made after one of my sessions, which I thought about turning into a video and might still eventually. But it was essentially me talking about how I have this great love and this great fear for him, and that, I want all of these things for him, and I want to understand why our relationship was the way that it was. But the answer-seeking part is looking for external factors, which I did look for. I thought about the fact that, quarantine's happening. I looked at the fact that we moved. I looked at, his friends that were saying really nasty things about me at the beginning of our relationship that were just untrue and unfounded in every way possible. I, looked at our previous relationships to see if maybe we were pulling stuff from those into our current relationship. Part of it's studying your partner and seeing what's going on with them, and I've done that, and DJ knows that I've done that, and I've presented my findings to him like a crazy person, saying, oh, you do this and this and this and this, and maybe it would help if you changed this and, tried doing this and took up yoga and whatever. And that was my first step. Second is denial. Which, a lot of it was finding excuses, and that's another thing that I've done in this, and it kind of bleeds with the first one, where I was like, we're getting so fed up because we are stuck with each other all the time. We need to find ways to get apart from each other, and then it'll be better. Or once quarantine stops, then we'll have more time with our friends and it'll be different. Or maybe if we, just when things are different, things will be different. Things will get better. All relationships have fights. That is pretty self-explanatory there. Next is bargaining, which is, a lot of these are really common things from like the original stages of grief. So I'm not just completely ripping off this woman. But bargaining. And I did that. Bargaining is when you kind of are convinced that you're what's wrong in the relationship. And I completely subscribe to the fact that, like,
don't judge anybody else until you check yourself out. That way you're lucky if it's your fault, because then you can correct the situation.
So if something is legitimately my fault, then that means that I can control whether or not it happens again. And so I did some self-blaming, was trying to get help for my anger, was trying to figure out ways around not feeling the way that I do, not feeling and acting so crazy. I had tried having conversations with DJ about, like, if we do this, then this will happen and it'll all be okay. If I behave this way, then that's fine. And then you need to behave this way and then we'll be fine. And it's all fine. That didn't do anything. All it did was make me feel bad about wrecking my relationship. Next is relapse. I guess it's different for everybody, because my relapse was more so the fact that that around August, I decided that I was done and that we were going to be broken up, or if anything, we were going to take another break from each other. During that time, I actually had gone on a date because DJ decided to take advantage of us not being together. So I'd gone on a date with someone that I met. I kept talking to this guy, but a couple days later, I messaged him and was like, you know what? I gotta try and make things work with DJ. I owe it to us to see this through. This is gonna be on me if I don't give it another go, if I don't try and see this through. So all I can offer you right now is my friendship. And I'm very thankful he said yes to that. He was very cool about it. He, wanted me to be happy, wanted me to be in the relationship that I wanted to be in. And he was fine with just being friends. And not just saying that we were going to be friends. He made plans to see me then. Was very respectful. Was great. It wasn't a ploy to try and do anything. He was just fine with my answer. And so then DJ and I tried again, obviously, through August and through September, and had more stuff happen and more stuff not work, and I kept going with this, which led into the next step of anger. And anger was a heavy feeling around our house for a few months. And anger is where you kind of are looking reversed, where you understand, like, it's not my fault, it's your fault. I might not have been doing all of my duties, but you weren't doing these either. Or you weren't doing these ones separate from what I wasn't doing. Or I didn't do this much, and you didn't do this much. And that was really prevalent. That was really prevalent between the two of us, was almost every time that we saw each other, we were just angry. And that's not right, and that doesn't feel good. And no one should be angry. No one should come home being angry. No one should wake up knowing that they're going to be in a fight. It's not worth it. And then after you feel angry all the time, then acceptance. Where you just kind of throw your hands up and say, I've done everything that I can do. And anger was a good way to sort of flow into that, because it did let me see I gave us time apart. I gave him what he needed. I let him be the person that he told me he wanted to be. I tried being the boyfriend that he told me he needed. And no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. Frankly, it never was gonna be. And same thing with him. Like, there were things that he did right, that he was very much trying on, but it wasn't the things that I really wanted him to try on. And then the last step is, moving on. And it's, knowing that things are gonna be okay. And that's a part that, like, I'm still flowing with. Obviously, with moving out, I have my insecurities and my fears about that, and I have financial worries. I have previous trauma that maybe I'll make a video about sometime that makes living by myself really scary. But yeah, I'm working through that part. And I did all of these over the last few months. And DJ and I broke up about a month ago. Like I said, DJ's confused as to how I was able to, move on so quickly. And the fact of the matter is that I didn't. I was very sad for a long time. I was hurting for a long time. And I had conversations with Noelle. I had conversations with Alyssa, with Sonia. I had conversations with my coach. Yeah, I tried talking with DJ about it, and for whatever reason, it just didn't hit right. And I think part of it's because I think he knew whenever I was talking about these things that it was the end. And he was uncomfortable with that, so he never wanted to hear it. And because he didn't want to hear it and didn't want to talk about it, it led to me having to deal with it by myself. Which I did just say that, I talked to all of these people, and don't get me wrong, everyone was very helpful. Everyone that's been there for me has been very, very helpful, and I'm very grateful for everyone. But at the end of the day, I was the one that was having to go to bed with my feelings. And it felt like a very, very long process that just wasn't going to end. And it led to this. It led to us breaking up. And now I'm needing to move again, and that sucks, and DJ is getting kind of stuck with this bill, which sucks and isn't fair. We're working out what we're going to do about the cats. But yeah, we're trying to work out the logistics on how everything's going to work. By the by, I might have some awkward edits in here. It's because of all the traffic outside. So the big takeaway from this is that it's not impossible to grieve a relationship while it's still happening. And if you're a person who has maybe felt like you started having feelings for someone else really early after a breakup, don't feel like that's impossible, because you might have already been getting over the relationship while it was still going on. And if you're in a position like DJ, which I know is hard for him, and I'm trying to be as sympathetic to that as possible. I'm trying not to, bring this guy around him. I'm trying not to talk about him very much. I know that it's not fun, but for anybody out there that is in DJ's situation, maybe they can watch this and understand that maybe their partner was really trying to salvage their relationship, and it just turned into this grieving process, and maybe they just missed the chance to be there for their partner. And that, as much as it sucks to say, that helped them move on quicker by having to kind of deal with it by themselves. I'm sorry that this video was very somber, was very it was not a whole lot of fun, but it is something big going on in my life that I do want to put out there. I think other people could watch, other people can take from, and maybe understand their own relationship a little bit better, or understand what happened when their relationship ended and how they felt. I would heavily recommend, if you made it this far in the video, go down into the description and watch the link to the video that I watched. It's only 9 minutes long. It's a lot shorter than mine, because I'm probably not really going to edit this much, so it probably is going to be roughly 20 minutes. I hope that this was able to help somebody. If anything, I hope it, someone could watch it and be like, oh God, thank God I'm not this kid who just had to, grieve his breakup while breaking up with his boyfriend. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave a like. Comment below if you've experienced this before, if you've been through a breakup and you can identify these steps of grief, or if maybe you've been in a relationship that you grieved while it was going on, and now having seen this, you can kind of understand, oh, that's what happened, that's why I felt that way. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you're not new and just haven't subscribed yet, I promise not all my videos are like this. Probably some of the videos that you're going to see on my end screen will be a little more upbeat and chipper, and so go watch those and see a happier version of me. That or they're just going to literally be my other 2020s, in which case you might get happy, you might get slightly sick, or you might get sad. So I have everything on my channel. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!